Hi, Albert Raley here. And remember, I'm running for President of the United States under the independent write-in category. This is number 24. And in case you don't know, it's June 12th, 2020. About all these protests, enough's enough. When is enough enough? Does the people protesting even know when enough's enough? So I'd like to ask them that. Is there criteria they're going for? Is it just a feeling that they have? You know, there's people protesting that don't even have a dog in the fight. They just go out to do it. I mean, come on. There's just too much going on with that. And, the first thing I'd do if I was president, one of the first things I'd do with all the other problems I'd have to deal with, would have the head of the NAACP come to the White House and say, look, tell me what you want. How will we know when they're there? Do you have criteria that needs to be met? Come on. And this violence thing, the protesters ought to say, they ought to alert the media, and the police ought to maybe even alert the media to let us know that, hey, there's going to be a peaceful protest down at the corner of Main and 2nd Street, and if it turns violent, you're not welcome. You're going to be dealt with. There's nothing wrong with protests, people wanting to get their point across, but this violence thing, it's way too far. It needs to be nipped in the bud and taken care of immediately. If it's an individual causing a problem, get him out of there. If it's a gang of people, if it's multiple people, if destruction, fires, break-ins, anything like that. Hi, Sierra Carter. I hope I got your first name right, and Rebecca Green. That needs to be taken care of immediately. And if it's the masses, if it takes stun guns, advancing of troops, rubber bullets, and maybe even more severe than that. So protesting with signs is okay, as long as it doesn't interfere with traffic and interfere with people, and no injury to people. But again, when that violence happens, Jesse Lambert, hi. When that violence happens, all rules are out. It's going to be taken care of, and that's the way it is. You can't be a wimp about all this stuff. There's too many wimps in our country. The wimpification of the United States is what I call it. If you look at the statistics, I don't think, somebody can prove to me, but I don't think, I've researched this some, that there's a disproportionate number of African Americans being targeted. It's like the squeaky wheel gets the grease. The ones that complain the most. Rob Repan, hi. I think the tide is turning. See, you ought to be able to protest and get your point across without the violence, because it's almost like, and it's like being forced upon us. And it's almost like you don't want to beat a child. That's way out the door. But you want to counsel them. Do it in a more subtle way. Protests are okay, I'm telling you, as long as they're not violent. Tearing down statues, painting streets, changing street names, no. That's done on a whim. There's not much thought behind that. If you think they should be removed, do it in a more quiet way. Do it in the proper way. Those things are just, they've been with us for hundreds of years. And where does it stop? You can't say something, you can't hang up something. It's gone way too far. It needs to stop now. And like I said, I'd address the people from the NAACP right away. Lorraine Blueball, hi. You know, I drove with a young black African-American lady. Wait a minute, black and African-American in the same. I hope I didn't say anything wrong there. She was a student of mine. And I said to her, how do you feel as a young black lady in our society? She said, well, I feel threatened. And I said, why? She said, well, I just don't know how I'm going to be treated. I said, has anything ever happened to you? She said, well, my dad got pulled over one time and a policeman was, rude with him or rough with him or whatever. And that was wrong. That was bad if that occurred. I want you to know, hi, Gary Giles. I want you to know that white people are feeling that way now. Things are being pushed on us too much. So we ought to, as white people, just say, look, we hear you. We're going to try our best. And when Mr. Raley gets in as president, we're going to stress morality, equality, morals. And that'll take care of all that stuff. All right, enough said about that. Holy cow, I'm going way, way on about that. Policemen? My God, they don't know which way to turn now. There's bad people in every group, but policemen, we need them. They're wonderful people. And now, even if they're right, they're wrong. Not good. I see the other day that the president used some of his powers, some of those powers that a lot of people don't know about, and it's the Insurrection Act. He sent troops, I think, to Washington, D.C., and, was a presence there. He has the ability to do that. He actually has the ability to do more that he either doesn't know about or he knows about and he's not using. So I intend to do all that to straighten this country out. Here's a brief rundown of my plans in case you haven't heard me. I have a list of 34 issues, my short list, pressing issues that I want to take care of once I'm in office. Nathan Beiser, hi. I'm going to unite the country. I'm going to eliminate the two-party system. Nothing but people fighting back and forth is detrimental to the country. Morals and values, I'm going to try every effort to instill them. Religion, things like that. And I'm going to try to stress equality. Whether it's races, the judicial system, whatever. All right, Lorraine Blueball says, I have so much to say too, but I don't say much for fear of being harassed on social media. Well, okay, Lorraine, that kind of makes my point. We ought to be able to say, but we wouldn't have to say it if we didn't feel we were the ones being oppressed. So anyway, I'm going to make sure everybody's equal when I'm in office. I'm going to make sure every citizen has the 5 basic needs as outlined by Dr. William Glasser. I'm going to shore the economy up, cut waste, balance the budget, go bankrupt. What? The United States go bankrupt? What the heck? It's called eliminating the deficit? Yeah, if we have to. Why should we have the burden of this huge deficit that will never, ever, ever be taken care of under the means that we are using now? Why should we have to worry about that, the sins of our fathers, so to speak? No, we're going to balance the budget. I'm going to know what bills we have, what income we have, and we're going to take care of that, and I'm going to eliminate the deficit. Can't be done, you watch and see. And then we're going to live within our means and we're going to have a happy life. Lorraine Blueball says, I don't feel oppressed. I feel sad for our country as a whole. Well, that's good, Lorraine. I'm glad you voiced your concern there. Okay, I just think that, never mind. I'm not going to go any further on that. I want to seal the borders. Can it be done? I guarantee it can be done. This border wall, it was an attempt. I mean, I don't think that alone is the answer. People can get up over that. And what about at the ports when drugs and stuff or illegals are coming in at the ports? I will position a person, whether it's law enforcement, military, every 100 yards on that border if I have to. And we're not letting anybody come in. And I'm going to cut ties with Mexico. Why? How can you do that? It'll make people mad. So what? We have a problem. The drug situation will be cleared up. And the deficit that we're facing from trades and services would be eliminated. That's like 50-some billion a year or whatever. And I'm going to hold people accountable. I don't care what the position you're in. You need to do your job. You need to do it right. And Congress, I'm going to really look hard at that. And people in political positions. I'm going to eliminate lobbyists and special interest groups. How can you do that? Well, I can do it. The president has the powers to do that. I'll research all this, of course, but this is right off the cuff what I'm going to plan on doing. You know, I think that's stealing right there. You know, lobbyists being able to pay politicians for votes and favors and stuff like that. That's just not right. Mindy Carpeto. So surprised that you tuned in. Thank you very much, Mindy. I'm going to try to downsize Congress. I think they're just fat cats sitting up there. And I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to investigate them. I'm going to find out where all these monies are coming from that makes them rich. They go in as a millionaire and come out as a zillionaire. So that's just not right. And they're going to do things that help the country, help me and you. Not worried about padding their own pockets. Lorraine Blueball asks, how do you propose to begin the process of the narcotics issue? Addictions, treatment. Well, Lorraine, the first thing I'm going to do is cut ties with Mexico. And that'll eliminate a big part of the drug situation. I know they're coming in from different ways, different areas, but I'm going to investigate all of them and try to combat that. People that are on drugs, I'm going to do what I can to make sure they get off drugs. But these people that are habitual about it, don't want to go to recovery and things like that, no, you're going to be pushed. You're going to be pushed. Rocky Gregory, hi. And Ernie Wiesenmiller tuned in there just a minute ago. Folks, you might say, Al, you're sitting there talking big, thinking you can do all this stuff. Well, you know what? I can. I guarantee you I can. I'm the type of president you dream of. I don't know if I'm going to make it there because even though I've contacted major news agencies and everything, over 200 of them, nobody seems to want to take a chance on a guy that's an independent, write-in candidate with no money, no experience. And I didn't vote until just now. But I'll tell you what, if the country doesn't put me in as president, they're missing out on a great deal. I can turn this into a utopia. Do you know what utopia is? Colleen Kenny, hi. Again, I'll use all the powers of the president to do that. It can be done. I have a secret. I am no wimp. When I was a kid, I used to get in a lot of fights. Really didn't want to, but I've been a fighter all my life, fighting for the right thing. Chapin Jewel tuned in. Chapin, I guess you'll be going back to the sports scene here real quick. Zach Wright, hi. Folks, that's my broadcast for today. The VA medical department is going to call me here at 9:30, so I got to get off the air. Folks, that was a call coming in. I'm going to leave you. Tune in Monday at 9 a.m. for my Zoom broadcast. Wednesdays, my podcast. And Fridays, like today, my Facebook Live. And Lorraine says you can never dream too big, and you're right. It's just an awful, frustrating feeling to know that you can help the country out in a huge way, but yet nobody knows about you. Thanks, folks. See you next time.